Winston Churchill famously said, "The success is the ability to move from failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm." Pretty clever. We'll talk about that more later. In modern times, that's evolved to talking about failing forward. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about failing forward in the context of business. Now, let's start with a basic definition of how you develop a business. Are you familiar with the scientific method? Hypothesis, test, analysis, hypothesis, test, analysis. I believe that business is the same thing. I believe that business is hypothesis, test, analysis, rinse and repeat. We're just going to keep doing it. And our businesses get better and better. But in doing so, the base assumption is that every hypothesis is going to be wrong to some extent. Now, in some cases, in business, that first hypothesis is going to be entirely wrong. That business is going to fail because your hypothesis was wrong. Maybe your product was the wrong product. Maybe you didn't understand the problem that you were trying to solve. Maybe you didn't understand who your client was. Something in your business hypothesis was entirely wrong, and it led to failure. But even in abysmal failure, there is still learning, and your next business is going to be better because of that failure. Now, that's kind of what Winston Churchill was saying. We're not going to lose our enthusiasm just because we failed. Now, even in successful businesses, you're going to be changing all the time. You're going to have a hypothesis that changing this little bit of the process, this tiny little bit of my product, these 2 or 3 words in my messaging, maybe even the color of my button, my buy now button, is going to lead to more sales. Once I have that hypothesis, I'm going to put it into place. I'm going to take action based on the hypothesis. I'm going to test that hypothesis. I'm going to analyze the results of the hypothesis. And based on that, I'm going to come up with a new hypothesis. And my business is always moving forward and getting more successful and more prosperous because I am looking for failure with those tests. You are always failing forward because you are always looking to improve. And that's the secret to growing a successful business. Now, back to that Winston Churchill quote. I did a lot of research on that quote. I love that quote. I think there's a lot of truth in that quote, but I don't think Winston Churchill said it. I even found it attributed to Thomas Jefferson. I'm pretty sure he didn't say it either. I don't know who the smart person was who said it, but the quote is false. But there's still truth in that false quote. So take this information and tally forward, or whatever Winston Churchill would say, and embrace failure. And don't lose your enthusiasm, because with every failure, you get closer to success. If you'd like to learn more about failing forward, then I encourage you to just go to Google and search for Food Business Pros Failing Forward. You'll find an article there that I wrote about failing forward that gives you the modern origin of it and gives you some examples of businesses that have failed forward. Some of them, some very successful businesses, and you're going to be shocked at their early failures. Well, that's it for now. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to this channel, give me a like. Both of those things are incredibly helpful to me. And it's going to help other new business owners find this channel, and that's going to be helpful to them too. So, thank you for everything. I look forward to talking to you next time. Okay, go forward and fail. Bye now.